Volume 2, Part 17 of Herodotus' Histories. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Graham Redman. Histories, Volume 2, by Herodotus of Halicarnassus, translated by A.D. Godley. Volume 2, Part 17. But Argos was so wholly deprived of men that their slaves took possession of all affairs, ruling and governing, until the sons of the slain men grew up. Then they recovered Argos for themselves, and cast out the slaves. When they were driven out, the slaves took possession of Tiryns by force. For a while they were at peace with each other, but then there came to the slaves a prophet, Cleander, a man of Phigalia in Arcadia by birth. He persuaded the slaves to attack their masters. From that time there was a long-lasting war between them, until with difficulty the Argives got the upper hand. The Argives say this was the reason Cleomenes went mad and met an evil end. The Spartans themselves say that Cleomenes' madness arose from no divine agent, but that by consorting with Scythians he became a drinker of strong wine, and the madness came from this. The nomadic Scythians, after Darius had invaded their land, were eager for revenge. So they sent to Sparta and made an alliance. They agreed that the Scythians would attempt to invade Media by way of the river Phasis, and they urged the Spartans to set out and march inland from Ephesus and meet the Scythians. They say that when the Scythians had come for this purpose, Cleomenes kept rather close company with them, and by consorting with them more than was fitting, he learned from them to drink strong wine. The Spartans consider him to have gone mad from this. Ever since, as they themselves say, whenever they desire a strong drink, they call for a Scythian cup. Such is the Spartan story of Cleomenes, but to my thinking it was for what he did to Demaratus that he was punished thus. When the Aeginetans heard that Cleomenes was dead, they sent messengers to Sparta to cry out against Leotychides concerning the hostages that were held at Athens. The Lacedaemonians then assembled a court, and gave judgment that Leotychides had done violence to the Aeginetans, and they condemned him to be given up and carried to Aegina in requital for the men that were held at Athens. But when the Aeginetans were about to carry Leotychides away, a man of repute at Sparta, Theacides, son of Leoprepes, said to them, "Men of Aegina, what are you planning to do? To have the king of the Spartans given up to you by the citizens, and carry him away? If the Spartans have now so judged in their anger, see that they do not bring utter destruction upon your country if you do this." The Aeginetans heard this, and refrained from carrying the king away, and made an agreement that Leotychides should go with them to Athens, and restore the men to the Aeginetans. When Leotychides came to Athens, and demanded back the hostages, the Athenians were unwilling to give them back, and made excuses, saying that 2 kings had given them the trust, and they deemed it wrong to restore it to one without the other. When the Athenians refused to give them back, Leotychides said to them, "Men of Athens, do whichever thing you desire. If you give them back, you do righteously. If you do not give them back, you do the opposite. But I want to tell you the story of what happened at Sparta in the matter of a trust. We Spartans say that 3 generations ago there was at Lacedaemon one Glaucus, the son of Epicydes. We say that this man added to his other excellencies a reputation for justice above all men who at that time dwelt in Lacedaemon. But we say that at the fitting time this befell him. There came to Sparta a certain man of Miletus, who desired to have a talk with Glaucus, and made him this offer: "I am a Milesian, and I have come to have the benefit of your justice, Glaucus. Since there is much talk about your justice throughout all the rest of Hellas, and even in Ionia, I considered the fact that Ionia is always in danger while the Peloponnese is securely established, and nowhere in Ionia are the same men seen continuing in possession of wealth. Considering and taking counsel concerning these matters, I resolved to turn half of my property into silver and deposit it with you, being well assured that it will lie safe for me in your keeping. Accept the money for me, and take and keep these tokens. Restore the money to whoever comes with the same tokens and demands it back." Thus spoke the stranger who had come from Miletus, and Glaucus received the trust according to the agreement. After a long time had passed, the sons of the man who had deposited the money came to Sparta. They spoke with Glaucus, showing him the tokens and demanding the money back. But Glaucus put them off, and answered in turn, "I do not remember the matter, and nothing of what you say carries my mind back. Let me think. I wish to do all that is just. If I took the money, I will duly restore it. If I never took it at all, I will deal with you according to the customs of the Greeks. I will put off making my decision for you until the 4th month from this day." So the Milesians went away in sorrow, as men robbed of their possessions. But Glaucus journeyed to Delphi to question the oracle. When he asked the oracle whether he should seize the money under oath, the Pythian priestess threatened him in these verses: "Glaucus, son of Epicydes, it is more profitable now to prevail by your oath and seize the money. Swear, for death awaits even the man who swears true. But oath has a son, nameless. He is without hands or feet, but he pursues swiftly until he catches and destroys all the family and the entire house. The line of a man who swears true is better later on." When Glaucus heard this, he entreated the god to pardon him for what he had said. The priestess answered that to tempt the god and to do the deed had the same effect. So Glaucus summoned the Milesian strangers and gave them back their money. But hear now, Athenians, why I began to tell you this story. There is today no descendant of Glaucus, nor any household that bears Glaucus' name. He has been utterly rooted out of Sparta. So good is it not even to think anything concerning a trust, except giving it back on demand. Thus spoke Leotychides, but even so the Athenians would not listen to him, and he departed. The Aeginetans, before paying the penalty for the violence they had done to the Athenians to please the Thebans, acted as follows. Blaming the Athenians, and deeming themselves wronged, they prepared to take vengeance on the Athenians, who were now celebrating a quinquennial festival at Sunium. The Aeginetans set an ambush, and captured the sacred ship, with many leading Athenians on board, and put in prison the men they seized. Suffering this from the Aeginetans, the Athenians no longer put off devising all mischief against Aegina. There was a notable man in Aegina, Nicodremus, son of Cnethus by name, who held a grudge against the Aeginetans for his former banishment from the island. When he learned that the